I'm HB.
These are my dogs, and this is my house.
I mostly post content about living in my van and having my 2 dogs, my non-existent dating life, doing stuff that I love like pole fitness. Come with me and I'll take you across the country to all my rotations. Today I'm going to be answering some of the most popular questions I get, and if I don't get to your question, you can just leave it in the comments. The first one is, do I really live in a van? Yes, I live in this van full-time, year-round. I've been doing van life now for about 2 years, and the only exception is if I'm on holiday and I'm visiting a friend, maybe I'll stay with them, or every once in a while I'll get a hotel room. But for the most part, it is me and my 2 dogs in this van full-time. The second most popular question I get is, why do I live in a van? I am in my last year of medical school, and in our last year we do clinical rotations. Every 4 weeks we go to a new hospital. So every 4 weeks I'm in a different city, most likely in a different state at a different hospital. Not everybody does it this way. Some people choose to stay local and only do rotations in a certain city, but I wanted to be able to do them all over the US. The third question I get most often is, did I build out my van? I did not build out my van by myself. I drew up the plans for it, and when I did, it looked like this. Obviously that didn't happen, but everything I wanted on there, he got in there, and I will put his Instagram tag below. The next most popular question is, how much did it cost? And before I tell you that, I just want to say that van life can be as expensive or as cheap as you make it. I've seen people get really cheap used vans and do their own build DIY for very low cost. I am not one of those people. The purchase price of my van was about $38,000, and I put probably about another $40,000 worth of upgrades in it. It's a 2005 Chevy Express all-wheel drive. I think that's the part that made it the most expensive, is that it's all-wheel drive, because when I was looking for a van, there weren't a lot that had all-wheel drive already in stock. You had to get them added aftermarket, and I didn't want to do that. Next most popular question is, who paid for it? I did. I financed the cost of the actual van, and the rest I had saved up. I did work to save up for my van. My dad does help me with anything maintenance-wise on the van. He's super handy, so together we have replaced the hubs on both front wheels. I just had to replace the transfer case on it. I take it in to do my oil changes and stuff like that. We've done the brakes and rotors together, so we do a lot of the maintenance ourselves. Another question I get is, how did I choose my van? And at the time I was looking between the Chevy Express, Ram ProMaster, the Ford Transit, and the Sprinter. The Sprinter was out because it's just too expensive. The parts for repair are too expensive. It was out of my price range. The Transit was my next option because they actually do have an all-wheel drive model, but when I got my van, the all-wheel drive models were pretty much brand new, so it was too expensive. The ProMaster did not come with an all-wheel drive option, so it was out for me, so I chose my Chevy Express conversion van, and it came stock with like higher roofs, and I'm not that tall, I'm only 5'6", so it works for me. I also wanted to be able to fit under like low clearance bridges and stuff. I didn't want to have to think about being too tall for anything. Another question I get is there anything that I wish that I had put in my van that I don't have? Yes, storage. And if my van builder is watching this, I am so sorry, because he told me, you're gonna need some storage, HB, and I said, storage schmorage, that's fine. Fit in all the cool stuff, forget about the storage, and now I wish that I had put more storage in here. Another question I get all of the time is, how do I shower? I have like 3 gym memberships, so between those, there's always a shower somewhere, and if not, I do have a shower in my van. It's just a flip down shower, and you hook up the curtain and open the sunroof to let the steam out. I have a 30-gallon water tank and a 2.5-gallon hot water heater, so I have enough hot water to take probably 4 or 5 showers before I run out. Also, I get asked, weirdly enough, where do I go to the bathroom? I do have a toilet in here. Most of the time I just go inside of a store and use the bathroom, but if I really have to, there's a toilet in here. Another question I get is, how do I take care of my dogs? It's pretty much an automated system. I have an AC unit that kicks on when the temperature gets too high. I also have a diesel heater for when it's too cold. I have cameras in here so that I can watch them anywhere. The van has its own Wi-Fi. They're pretty comfortable. They're used to being in here, even though they're big dogs. The key is I have to make sure I take them out and play with them at least an hour to 2 hours every day, which is pretty easy. I usually just go out on my lunch break and play with them, or when I'm done with work. People always ask me if I wish that I had stayed in the same city and got an apartment, and absolutely not. I can't imagine being stuck in one place. I love the freedom to go anywhere that I want. I love that I can explore any program that I want. It doesn't matter how far it is, as long as I can drive there. If you have any more questions, put them in the comments and I'll think about answering them.